Hey everybody, Pastor Nick here with another video about something to think about. Oftentimes, especially in this social media generation and this, how can I say it, this generation of overly hyping some things, we oftentimes, I've been saying it recently, make people believe that everybody's going to be this great world changer. And the reality is we're all not going to be this great world changer where you're internationally known. You know, everybody's going to know your name around the world. But we have people, believing that, it's going to be everybody. Well, it's not going to be everybody. It's like everybody's going to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not going to be an entrepreneur, right? Everybody doesn't have the tools for it. Some people are built to work a job, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think the other thing is that we want to be international without being faithful over what's local. Oh boy, we want to be known by the masses, but won't help those or make an impact in our immediate vicinity. Focus on changing where you are first and then build from there. Because why would God give me an national platform and not doing anything with my family, my local community, my county, my state? We just want to jump from I'm doing this to everybody knows who I am. But the reality is that God, for some people, have called them to that international, that national space where people know their name. And if you want that position, you want all the responsibilities, all the problems, all the warfare, and everything that comes along with it. But God will oftentimes call somebody to be in a location, to be in a situation where they'll impact a number of people, and God will use that to help change the world. If all of us were content to do what God called us to do, we would all collectively, through the power of God, be world changers if all of us do our part. Because it's my belief. Now, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong or not. The Sunday school teacher is just as important as the preacher that's on the platform. Because you have one person that may be in the classroom that's changing a generation of children coming up, and somebody that's changing a generation of a whole congregation. Both are important in the kingdom of God. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 12, every part of the body is important, even those feeble parts that people don't pay attention to. What am I trying to tell you? Be faithful to where God puts you. Be faithful where you are. Be a good steward of where God put you. I'm not saying don't shoot for the stars. I'm not saying don't strive for success. Do all of that. But learn to be faithful where you are and make an impact where you are. The person that's working at the local community center, changing the lives of young people is important. But we often devalue what we're called to do, what we're good at, because we're comparing it to somebody else. Comparing to somebody else. There are very few people in the masses of people that reach that platform where they're known nationally and around the world. But even then, everybody in the world doesn't know who that person is. All I'm trying to tell you is be faithful for what you have. The pastor with 100 people is just as important as the pastor with 10,000 people. The person working the small business with 10 people is just as important as the business that hires 300 people. Work where you are. Be faithful on your grind to where you are and stop minimizing what you do, comparing it to somebody else's influence. Exercise your influence where God places you. So I may not be this world famous person, but can I be faithful to where God has me to impact another generation coming up? I told a group of people the other day, I still remember what my Sunday school teacher taught me. You can work with a person, and that person may be the individual that goes out there and reaches a mass of people. But if you don't do your part, that person may get it from somebody else or may miss out on some things. Learn to be faithful where God puts you, and learn to be thankful and learn to be grateful, because it pleased God to put you where you are. So whether you're working in the pulpit, singing in the choir, ushering, whether you're working on this greet at the door, working facilities, working security outside, wherever you are, be grateful for where God puts you and learn to work it to the best of your ability and allow God to use you to transform people in this world. Impact where you are. God bless you. Talk to you soon.